One of the most common questions I get asked at by the skate park. Oh my. One of the most common questions that 7-year-olds ask me at the skate park, besides, are you backflip? Am I backflip? Oh my goodness, One of the most common things that I get asked when I'm at the skate park by 7-year-olds, besides can you backflip and are you sponsored, as well as are you a YouTuber, is how can I land a tailwhip? And I will follow up by asking them to try and land a tailwhip to see where they're at. And usually there will be one of a few mistakes that they're making that are really setting them back from being able to land it. So in today's video, I'm gonna go over these common mistakes and how you can fix them so that you're gonna be able to actually land your tailwhips. Let's get into it. All right, so before we actually...
The Soyuz is a bit more like...
Before we actually get into these tips, I want to get everybody on the same page. This is a tail whip. This is a heel whip. This is a tail whip sex change. This is a heel whip sex change. They're all different tricks, and that's going to be something very important for you to learn the difference between before you start trying to land the tail whip. So the first thing you're going to want to know is if you're goofy or regular. I ride regular, so I ride with my left foot in front of my right foot. So this would be my normal stance as I ride. If you ride goofy, you ride with your right foot in front of your left foot. So this would be goofy. So since I ride regular, I tail whip clockwise. If you ride goofy, you're going to tail whip counterclockwise. So this is a tail whip. Just like that, very simple. But what I see a lot of people doing is going to be the first problem on our list, which is going into sex change when they're trying to do the tail whip. So this is a problem that I see a lot of people do, and I'd say it happens about 8 out of 10 times. I have a bunch of friends that have tried to teach it, and when they get close enough to finally land it, they'll do this. Now pay attention to where my feet are when I leave the deck and where they are when I land on the deck. See, my feet changed position on the deck. I went from regular into goofy. You don't want to do that because that just complicates everything. You want to make sure that you're catching it in the same foot position that you threw it in. So now watch my feet. Same way, the whole way. That's what you want. Because if you do it the other way, it's going to mess you up. Even I used to do it. If you look back on some of my really old Instagram clips, I used to do it too. It's a really easy mistake to fix. The next mistake I see is people who don't keep their scooter centered. This is the #1 piece of advice that I will always give to anybody trying to learn it. Keep the scooter in between your legs. You are not going to land it if you're flinging it way out here, or you're flinging it and doing all that. You won't land it. The scooter needs to stay in between your legs throughout the entire way. I cannot count how many times I've seen people go for the whip and they bring it way out beside their leg. That's not how you do it. You're not going to land it that way. So when you keep it in between your legs, it's going to be so much easier to land because you aren't flinging it like that. And it's also going to look better every time. The next mistake I often see is people not jumping correctly. When you do the tail whip, you want to be jumping like that. Put pressure on the back and then bring your scooter up. What I see a lot of people doing is just pulling on their bars to go up. That makes it incredibly harder to do. If you learn to properly jump, this won't just help you with your tail whip, this will help you with every single trick that you are ever learning your scooter engine. If you learn to properly jump, the tail whips will become so much easier. And on a similar note, the other thing I see is people who aren't jumping enough. If you're just jumping like this, you aren't gonna land it. You gotta put effort into the trick. And they're also usually they're overcompensating for the lack of jump with their whip. So, they're trying to whip it really fast and not jumping very high. That's not what you want to do. You want to have a good even jump to whip ratio. So yeah, these are some of the mistakes that I often see younger or even older riders make when they're first starting out to try and learn the tail whip. So yeah, try and correct these, and hopefully this video has helped. And if there's anything else that you guys are struggling with, just leave it down in the comments and I will do my best to get back to you with some useful advice. So yeah, I hope this video has helped, and I'll see you in the next one. If I make another video ever, I don't know. We'll see. It's really if I feel like it. See ya. Goodbye. Jawline check. Hold on.